All right, we are back. It's been a little while. I think my last video that I put up was at the beginning of Shaw Prep, so a few months ago. Kind of fell off filming for YouTube, obviously, but there's just been some good life stuff going on recently that I wanted to be present for. So I kind of stepped out from behind the camera for a little bit just so I can live my life, and that was really needed. But it's time to get back to work. We are inside 7 weeks out from OSG. And I am committed to vlogging this last prep of the year. So if you don't follow me on other platforms, since my last video, I've competed twice. I did the Shaw in August, and it went a lot better than expected. If you've been following here, you know that we didn't prep a whole lot for that because we were dealing with the arm injury. So we had a 4-week prep. The prep went okay. I did better at the show than I was expecting to. I got 4th. Missed out on podium because I messed up my stone run, which is super frustrating. I think ended up tied for 3rd, but then the stone event was the tiebreaker, so that bumped me to 4th. So that's a bummer, but still better than I expected to do at that show. And then I decided to jump into America's Strongest Woman. I wasn't going to do it because they had Finger listed as one of the events, and I wasn't really sure about how safe I could do that one. I didn't feel super confident with that movement, but then like a month out, they switched it to a bag throw instead of the fingers, which I felt a little bit better about. So we didn't really prep for that. Like 2 weeks before the show, I decided to jump in, and I had a good time. I decided last minute to jump into the show, and then I got there and decided like the day before to also jump in and do the open show simultaneously. So I did the middleweight show and heavyweight America's Strongest in Vegas last weekend and took 3rd in both. So that was a cool little side quest. But now we are back to training. We were right back into it. I think we took 1 day off after that show, and then it's right back into prep for OSG because this is the big one this year. This is the one that we're really focusing in on. And so we're actually going to do a serious prep now. So we're 7 weeks out. Day 1 today, I've got Zercher squats. So the last 2 shows, the stone run is what bumped my placing both times. I failed the 300-pound stone in the series at Shaw and America's, which is super frustrating because I used to be really good at stones, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but we have a lot of stone work coming up. We're doing stones twice a week, and then we have a lot of front squats and Zercher squats to try to strengthen that movement pattern. So today is a Zercher squat day, 3x3 at an RPE 8, and then we got 1 set of 6 to 8 after that. Some leg accessories, some sandbag throws. We're also doing sandbag throws twice a week, and some grip work. Behind the back holds, there's another day that we have a front hold that's a little bit more in line with the wrecking ball, since wrecking ball is one of the events for OSG. We don't know what the weight is going to be on it yet, but we're just adding in a lot of grip work there. So not really too long of a day. We've got 4 sets on the Zercher squats, 2 leg accessories, some throwing, and then grip work. So I'm going to go start getting warmed up, my normal squat warm-up stuff, running man, Cossack squats, some lizard lunges, probably straight arm pull downs, dead bugs, and side planks to kind of warm up legs, back, abs. Probably throw in some like band bicep curls to get the arms warmed up a little bit since we're doing Zercher squats. But yeah, I'll meet you back once we start squatting and kind of get up towards some working weights. All right, so I haven't really done Zercher squats in like years, so I don't really know what kind of weights to be working towards. It's written as a 3x3 RPE 8. I just hit 185 for 3. Obviously the squat part doesn't feel that hard because it's not that heavy, but obviously the limiting factor is going to be just holding it. So that felt heavy in my arms, but then the movement felt fine. So I guess I'll just go up by like 20 pounds per set in triples until I get to what feels like an RPE 8 and then stay there. But I don't really have any concept of what that's going to be today. So we'll figure it out together. All right, we're up to 205. All right, so I don't really know what an RPE is supposed to feel like on this movement, because obviously the squat part is not too hard because it's not that heavy, but it's hard to hold. It just feels heavy in my arms, but then the movement looks all right. So I might go like 20 more pounds, but then I'll probably call it there for the 3x3 today. So we'll put on 10 per side, bring it to 225, and do our 3 working sets at 225. That's what I'm thinking for today. All right, first working set, 225. Ooh, that's terrible. Fuck. Okay, so we got through the 3 working sets there at 225. For the last set, it just says 1 set of 6 to 8, slightly lighter. So I brought 20 pounds off, so we're down to 205 now. Got 1 set here of 6 to 8. I'd be happy with 6. I think I might have overshot on the RPE a little bit. It's very hard to hold on to. But I think I'm good for at least the 6 here. So last set here on Zercher squats, and we'll move on to some accessories. All right, so we're done there. The 8 reps wasn't really that hard, actually, so I think I was just being a little bit of a weenie, and RPE was probably appropriate. So good finish there. A couple accessories that I'm not going to film just because it's not anything super exciting. We've got some leg press, I think 5 sets of 8 on leg press, and then 4 sets of 10 on leg curls. So just a good leg pump, which is going to be really terrible to do right before sandbag throws, but I'm going to get that done. I'll see you back outside for some sandbag throws after that. All right, so now that my legs are all blown up, we got some throws. I did not plan very well today for vlogging because it's now like 7:30 and it's dark outside. So I'll film this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing, but it's very dark out here. But we are throwing 2 times a week. There's one other day that we're doing like series practice and working on like transition speed. Today we have sets of 6, but at a set weight. So we're working on working up to the most weight that I can get for 6 consecutive reps without missing. And we have 3 sets there. So today is going to be less focused on speed since it's going back and forth, and more just focused on like good technique and power. I'm also going to start experimenting with doing my sandbag throws in a belt. Derek Owens suggested that to me at America's last weekend. I've never really tried it with a belt, but I did some throws that day with my belt on, and I think I like it, but I'm going to start training with it more. I'm going to use this day to kind of decide whether or not I want to continue with that the rest of prep, but we have 3 sets of 6, no misses. The series goes up to 35, so it would be awesome if by the end of this block we're doing the top weight from the series, 4 sets of 6. That would be really cool. Today I would be really happy with hitting like 27 or 30 pounds, but we're going to start with 25, do a set there, work up in 2.5 pound increments, and kind of feel out what we want for the 3 sets of 6, because the goal is 3 sets of 6 back and forth with no misses. So not necessarily fast, but just consistent. So I'll film some of these. Hopefully you can see something. But yeah, let's get going. All right, starting first set with 25 pounds, which hopefully should be pretty easy. All right, so I'm not gonna count that as a set. That was pretty easy, but that was 25 pounds for 6 reps back and forth. Going to 13 feet, which after doing 17 feet at America's last weekend, feels like cheating. It feels so short, but that's good. So I'm gonna go to 27. I'm probably gonna count this as my first working set. Hopefully do 27 for a set. If it feels good, I might go up to 30, but I don't think I'm gonna go heavier than 30 today, even if I can, just because I wanna work on like really good reps. So this, I guess, will be my first working set of the day. Okay, at 27 and a half. Easy. All right, so I'm going to count that as my first working set, but that felt pretty good. So I'll go up to 30 pounds for 2 more sets of 6. I do think that I like the belt. I was a little bit worried that it would hinder my extension, but actually having something a little bit to brace into is feeling nice, and I'm not getting a back pump the way that I normally do on back throws. So I'll probably keep it for training, at least for the next few weeks, and see if I like it. But as of right now, I'm thinking, yes, I do. So I'm going to keep that 2 more sets with 30. I'll film the last one. All right, so this will be my last set. The 30 for 6 went pretty well, and I thought about going up to 32, but we're gonna keep it here. The notes say that the goal is to work up to being able to do 32 and a half for all the sets by the end of the block, which I feel like I could probably do today, but I don't need to. So we're gonna stick with the 30, just try to make them really clean. The last set, they all went over, but they weren't like a consistent trajectory every single time. So just gonna try to make them a little bit more consistent this time instead of worrying about going heavier. So this will be last set here, staying at 30 pounds for 6 reps over 13 feet. Whew, done. All right, so sticking with the 30-pound bag for the last set ended up being a good call. They all went over. It was a good set, but my legs were very tired by the end, and the last couple reps were very army. I really wasn't getting much out of my legs, so it's good to know that I can hit that weight even without getting much pop out of my lower body. And ultimately, that event will be on the last day of the show, so it will be done fatigued. So it makes sense to train it fatigued, knowing that we can hit the weights even tired. Even worst case scenario is a confidence booster. So I think I mentioned the notes say that the goal by the end of the block is to be able to do 32 and a half for the 3 sets of 6 without any misses. So I think we're already ahead of the curve on working toward that, which is cool. It means we can just work on being faster. So I'm excited about that event. We ended the day with some grip holds. I didn't film those because it's super boring to watch, but we had 2 sets of 30 seconds behind the back holds with 225. I think the note said to increase the weight by 10 to 20 pounds each week if the 30 seconds is easy. Today it was not easy. I think that was a really appropriate weight for today. The last set I just barely made the 30 seconds, so that was an appropriate weight for today. We'll try to go a little bit heavier next week, and then I think the goal by the end of the block is to be up to 300 pounds for 30 seconds. So obviously that's training for the wrecking ball. We have one day of the week that's behind the back grip hold, and then one day of the week that's like a forward, more like wrecking ball style hold. So finished with that today. It wasn't a super long workout. Some of the later workouts in the week are a little bit longer and more volume, but day one is not really too bad. So I'm not sure which other day this week I'll film. Probably one of my overhead press days, but I'll try to vlog like 2 out of 5 of my workouts each week leading into the show. So as always, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, things you want to see, things you want me to talk about, any of that. And then like, share, subscribe, all those things, and I'll see you next time. Excited to be back in the habit of doing this for you guys.